Oh, gamers, we're excited for Mario Kart 9, aren't we? Very, very excited for the next game. But would you be just as excited if it was directed by our guy, BenjaMage, as he makes What If I Made the Next Mario Kart game? Space BenjaMage. Now, I think I will be interluding with my thoughts on what he thinks, and maybe my thoughts on how I would design a Mario Kart game. I do have some thoughts on how I would design it. We are still Biff Squad. Biff Squad, you can go. We're Benja Squad now. So let's go ahead and see what BenjaMage has for us in store. And before we begin, go like the video. I'm gonna link in it. You better go like it. It'll be linked in the description and in the pinned comment. Go give it a like and tell him he's a cool guy. He's a very cool guy. I do like the mage aesthetic. I wish I could pull it off, but I'm part of the Shadow Wizard Money Gang. They don't let mages in if you've been part of the Shadow Wizard Money Gang. Without further ado, let's continue. He has an intro? God, I haven't seen like a YouTube intro in so long. Holy shit. I haven't seen... When was the last time you saw a YouTube intro? I'm getting nostalgic now. Hang on one sec. Hang on, just give me one sec, BenjaMage. I do believe, if I am not mistaken, can we just play it one more time? Dust and Elysian Tale mentioned. Can I give this video a super like, please? He mentioned my Scrimblow Blimbo. Super like. I like you already, BenjaMage. Let's continue. And he credited the people who made it. Oh my gosh.
So here's a little fun fact about me. Something I've really enjoyed.
Is the audio good, by the way? Just before we, the character's nice. At least so far. Hey, listen, I like it. I'm still subscribed to some old school video makers back in the day. They still use YouTube intros. I've always wanted one, but I'm just like, at the same time, just like, I just prefer to get into it, you know? Personal preference. But let's continue.
Doing since I was little is coming up with game rosters for hypothetical games. I don't know, something about figuring out what I'd want to see in whatever game has always scratched an itch in my brain in a way.
I think we've all kind of done this to some degree, right? Like, well, if it's something as simple as put my Scrimblow Blimbo in Smash, I think we've all thought about how we design a game, right? I think that's just kind of what happens, right? Want to make a 3D text spinning one? Shut up, Kevin. No.
And over the past few years, I've seen some other YouTubers do similar things in video form, largely with fighting games. And it was after recently watching a couple of these that I thought, why haven't I done a video like that yet? And thus, here we are now. Though instead of going with a fighting game, I'm going with a genre I'm much more accustomed to. The kart racer. And hey, with Nintendo's next console on the horizon, a new Mario Kart game...
Hey, it's not rumors. How long was it? 4 days? Oh, brother. It's only 4 days ago, but the video has been aged. It's not rumors. It's confirmed now, brother. It's confirmed, Benja. I can't believe this. You got to delete the whole video and try again now.
...is likely to follow, so I felt that'd be fun to focus on. So for this video, we're gonna tackle this hypothetical scenario. If Nintendo were to approach me and give me the creative reins for the next Mario Kart game, what direction would I take the game? Well, let's get into it.
So gamers, by the end, will we like Sir Musty's version of Mario Kart 9? Or we like BenjaMage's Mario Kart 9? Let's see. What would your approach be, brother?
Okay, actually, before we get into the specifics, I should probably elaborate on the general approach I'll be taking for this. First and foremost, while I'm sure it's clear to most of you, I just want to quickly clarify, this is not a prediction video in the slightest. I am not expecting any of this to actually come to fruition in the next Mario Kart.
Well, what's the point of making the video then? What do you mean? You're making this because I think you... Oh, just... Guys, he's lying. Ignore him. This is his prediction video. Ignore him.
This is just a funny what if and what I do.
It's not, he's lying, guys. He's lying.
If I were in creative control.
He wants to actually make this. He's lying.
That said, while this is entirely hypothetical,
He's literal. Don't listen to him.
I do still want to keep a sense of scope with everything I choose. I'm not going to ask for a
just trying to get in the video.
bajillion characters and for every single track in the series to get remade with absolutely no reused assets. That'd be dumb and honestly not very interesting. So, here are the limitations I'm putting on myself. For the character lineup, I'm going to keep myself to the same amount that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe ended on, that being 48. And for the
I think that's reasonable. I think that's a reasonable restriction.
Tracks, I'll stick with the series standard of 32.
32, huh? Ooh. I think it's fair that you did that, but at the same time, it's like, there's no way, right, chat? There's no way There is no way the next Mario Kart game only has 32. I just don't believe it. I think it's a safe assumption that you've made. I just don't believe you. It has to be at least 40. There has to be at least 5 Nitros and 5 Retro. Surely. There's just no way. 48 as well could work. It's just not, it just can't. But I get it. Safe. It's better to be safe than sorry.
16 new tracks and 16 retro tracks. Also, while I will go a bit into gameplay and mechanic stuff, this video will largely focus on the content side of things. And lastly, to go into my thematic approach with this, the Mario series has had a very diverse lineup of games over the past 40 or so years. Whether that be with the mainline game.
Oh, is he going to be like a reference Andy instead of an OG Andy? Because like for me, as I mentioned, I don't, as much as I would like it when Mario Kart would reference other games in the series or like other games in the Mario universe, I'm okay when Mario Kart just does stupid things like a toilet track. I'm okay with that, to be honest. If they continue with that design philosophy of, yeah, we'll reference the occasional track, yeah, we might make New Donk City, but we'll also just make hey, what about we did Satoru Iwata's cupboard? Let's just do that. Rest in peace. We'll see what was in his old cupboard. I don't know.
Games, the spin-offs, and the numerous sub-series centered on other characters. And I want to reflect that with my character and track choices. As such, some of my picks are going to get rather deep cut and unconventional.
Could we do Reggie's drawers? That's going to be a Mario Kart 9 watch.
Suppose that's what you get for putting me in charge. But that's enough pre-ramble. Let's actually get into it now.
Kevin,
starting with...
Dave!
So I only really have a rough idea for how I'd handle the game's gameplay, so
Miyamoto's loft, Miyamoto's money pit. Bruv, put him in! Put him in! If I was directing this, all of them would be in.
This section on the briefer side. First and foremost, I'd stick to races having 12 racers, like in Wii and 8. And in regard
I thought, to be honest, I didn't think this was much of an argument. I would also stick with 12. I don't see the point in lowering it or raising it, if you ask me. I agree.
To general control style and handling, I think 8 set a good standard that we can keep to. As for the
I would say sure, definitely. I don't see them going back to the slippery era of Mario Kart games, and I don't see them reintroducing inside drift. So do you know what? I think like taking Mario Kart 8's style of like gameplay, like drifting and general car control, fair.
The additional racing mechanics, I'd keep the gliding and the underwater driving, but as for the anti-gravity, I think I'd remove it.
Remove it? I can understand you not expanding on it, but removing it? Brother, that's a hard ask. In the same way I don't have to ask to get Raul to give me $5 again. Oh my god! Thank you so much, homie. When I'm in my own nitro, I did like 3 or 5 reference tracks. I think that's a good number. I think that's a good number too. I would say like 3 to 5, I think is good. I think if you do too much, I think we end up over-egging the pudding a little bit. But I think we should do some. I don't think it should be 0. Like, I would like it if there was like a New Donk City or like a Waluigi wardrobe, you know? That would be kind of nice. But not too many or not too few. Yeah, I agree.
Not that it's not fun, because it is fun, but that was 8's main hook, so I don't want to lean into that gimmick again.
Yeah, but like, gliding and underwater was like 7's hook, but then 8 just shamelessly took them as well. I would say like, you give yourself a very weird corner when it comes to like, you put yourself in a weird corner design-wise when you remove anti-grav. I can understand you not expanding on anti-grav, I think that's fine, but removing it? I don't know, brother. I would be fine with removing it, but don't remove anti-grav for actual 8DX tracks that need it. Yeah, that's what I would say. Like, the 8DX tracks are so... Like, if he means he would remove it from... Let's say, for example, for like a DLC track in his hypothetical Mario Kart 9's future, let's say he brings back... what's the track with anti... What was a retro that they added anti-grav into? Like, maybe Cheeseland? Let's say they added Cheeseland again, right? But there was no anti-grav segment. I'd be fine with that because it was a retro that didn't have it. 8 added it in, so he'd want to remove it. Or like Warrior Stadium's a good example, right? But if you're going to bring back Electrodrome, it has to have anti-grav. Are you kidding me? It has to. So a bit of an odd choice. A bit of an odd choice. Yeah, Piranha Plant Slide would be a good example as well. If they brought back Piranha Plant Slide again, I could see them going, okay, no anti-grav in this version. That's fine. But Electrodrome? Mount Wario? None of that, really?
Before you ask what that means about any tracks from 8 that may come
back... I was asking that question. I paused a bit too soon, as I tend to do. My bad.
We'll get into that later. Regarding...
clickbait. I like you, BenjaMage. I like you a lot. Antigro's fine, but most tracks don't require it. Sunshine Airport and Dolphin Shoals work just fine with that. Wario's Dam section only needs to be tilted horizontally. Yeah, but I would say, why would you even feel the need to do that in the first place? Does that make sense? Like, does making Wario's Dam horizontal fundamentally ruin the track? No, but like, that's Mount Wario. Like, you're fundamentally changing Mount Wario, and for what? For a game design gimmick you removed? Like, that makes no sense to me. Like, I would say keep it in for the tracks that have it, but like, if you don't want to expand on it, fine, that's fine with me.
Items, I'd keep the ability to hold 2 items at a time, and by extension, keep the double item box.
You're gonna ask to swap them though, aren't you? I think that needs to make a thing. That you need to be able to swap them now. I've had enough.
But I am gonna make a big change to that system. I'm bringing back the ability to swap between your items like you could in Double Dash.
Yo, Benja. I'm fucking with Benja. Yo, hashtag Benja Squad. Hashtag Benja Squad. Are we gonna get the text on the screen? Benja, he read my mind. He read my mind. Are we playing Benja's game? I think we're playing Benja's game, aren't we, chat? I think we're playing his game. There we go. Hashtag Benja Squad. Boom. Hashtag Benja Squad, baby. We're here. We're so here.
You make things more chaotic?
Hang on. CTR Nitro Field removed anti-grav from Crash Nitro Kart courses, and they play equally, if not better, than the original versions. I suppose if there's a bit of precedent, it can work, but I'm just like, if you're asking me, I'd be like, what's the point? Do you know? Like, what's the point, really? Could it work? Yeah. Why would you want to, though? You know?
Absolutely, and that's just how I like it. That said, I am getting rid of the coin. In fact, I'm getting rid of the coin system altogether. I know it's been present in a few Mario Kart games now, and played a big part in the meta for Mario Kart 8, but I've never been huge on the coin system myself, and I especially don't like having coins as an item. So yeah, we're scrapping those.
Scrapping the coin system. What do we think of that, guys? I actually don't know how I think about it. Well, I don't actually know how I feel about that. Because I feel like the coin system is good. When he said the system is bad, I'm like, I don't agree. The idea of having to collect coins as you race on the track to reach a higher top speed, I think is really good. I like that. The coin as an item, I get it's frustrating, but like, I think every Mario Kart game has had one item that you can get in first place that doesn't help you protect yourself. So what I'm going to say to you, Benja, is if you're going to remove the coin and make it so that essentially, and you're not bringing back the fake item box, you have to make red shells a lot more stronger to compensate. I feel like you have to. Does that make sense? Because like the coin is like a decent way of balancing front running and making it so it's not just you grab an item box, you have one guaranteed form of protection, you know? I just, and you said the system as well, brother. I thought the system was good. I think, in fact, when 7 brought back the coin system, it works way better. I don't even know what the coin system did in, like, Super Circuit or Super Mario Kart. I don't even know what the coins did in that game. But, like, in this game, it's very obvious. You collect a maximum of 10 to increase your top speed. In fact, you know what I would do? If I'm being honest, if you're playing Sir Moresty Kart, I would expand it. I would increase the cap to 15. And on top of that, I would make it so that getting more coins after 15 still increases your speed, but like by a minuscule amount. So like, for example, the difference between like 14 and 15 coins is like a decent little bit. 15 and 16 is like nothing though. But like if you were like 15 versus like 50, bit of a noticeable difference. Do you know what I mean? Like it ramps up and then kind of like plateaus out after 15. I would expand it if you ask me. I would expand the system. What do you guys think? Corn item sucks. The system's cool. Hola Blame Cook or Rocket Ash is interested. I guess the first can front run better now, I guess. Yeah, but I think Mario Kart is at its worst when the first person is just mindlessly front running. I don't know about you guys. I think Mario Kart is at its worst when the first person is just off on his own fucking playing. When the first person is just playing like Forza Horizon up in the front. I don't think Mario Kart's fun. As a player, when I'm first place and I'm just mindlessly out in the front, cool, I'm in first place, who gives a shit? When like I'm second, third, fourth trying to catch up, then I'm just like, what's the fucking point? They're all the way at the front, do you know? I've never found being like a mindless front runner being fun in Mario Kart. I've never found fun in it at all. Scrap the item, but keep the item. True, I agree with you, Muse. I agree with you. This is the point I disagree with the most. I think we should have 2 items. We should have the coin. It gives the first more risk. Yeah, that's pretty much what I said. If we keep the coin system in the game and just add a shop somewhere in the game where coins can be more useful than just an item. Cosmetics, eh, Sephiroth? That's positively evil. I like it. I like it. Coins are neat, but they make the slow roads actually viable for coins. Yeah, exactly. You would have to like make the game design a bit more interesting to compensate, brother. Add back skill-based unlock requirements rather than coins. Okay, that's true. That is true. I do hate the fact that you have to get coins in order to unlock anything. That is boring. Keep max at 100. Once you get 100, you get 1 up and lose all your speed. Shut up, Sponge. If you remove the coin item, you basically need a fake item box, but both don't protect you from items. You can still trap people with fake item box. Yeah, you need to... If he says he's going to remove the coin, I'm expecting him to say we're bringing back the fake item system. That's what I'm thinking. Super Mario Kart, though, protection against bonking CPUs. Oh, I know that, but I was assuming if they did anything more than that. I know about the bonking protection, but was there anything more than that? Well, I guess not, I suppose. Let's keep going.
Now, to those wondering what that means for unlocking cart customization parts, well, I think I might remove cart customization too. It was a neat addition for 7 and 8, but I think I want...
Damn, really? No cart customization? Fuck, bro. I kind of see what he's getting at, though. Let's hear it, let him cook.
I want to go back to simply having multiple pre-made vehicles to pick from, like in Double Dash DS and Wii. Also, I wouldn't lock the vehicles to weight classes. Any character can drive any vehicle.
Do you know what I would... Okay. The reason why I don't necessarily disagree is because I think Potatoes' cart customization kind of sucks. It kind of does suck. Usually I just find one set... Like, how I would... If this was me, if this was my system, right? I would keep cart customization, but it would mainly... The main attributor to the stats would only be the cart body. Like wheels and glider and like the emblem at the front, because I'm adding more cosmetics. The flag you get as well, if you're smart steering. Everything else will just be purely cosmetic. So you can like mix and match whatever you wanted. That's what I would do. I think the cart body affecting stats is fine. Because I like the idea of customizing a cart so your car looks different, but like some people might want to change the way the cart looks without changing how it controls. So like, that's what I would do. If you ask me, that's what I would do. I would make it so that the cart body affects it. The wheels, the glider, or whatever it is, everything else, all the cosmetics, it's just, you know, pick what you want and see what your cart looks like. Because I've always wanted to use, you know those big wheels, what is it, in 7? Those really big fuck-off wheels? There's like dirt bike wheels, those big chunky wheels. I've always wanted to use them, but I just don't like how they handle my car. I just don't like that. So if I could use those big chunky wheels, but then have them control like another set, like simply the monster tires, yeah, I would like that if you ask me. So that's how I would design it. I would make the cart bodies affect stats, everything else. No, I'd be fine with that. That is what I would do. It was better when it was more simple, to be fair. So it's true. Cart customization is something I found lame. Honestly, the cart customization is something that could be more in depth. That's true as well. If they're willing to just flesh it out a bit more. Honestly, simplify it so that the carts and wheels are always attached to each other. That could work too. This idea is really good. Thank you. I appreciate that. But that's what I would do. I like the idea of cart customization, but I also do kind of understand where he's getting at. It is a little lame. It is a little lame. This isn't the hottest take in the video, but it is a little spicy.
And lastly, regarding the speed classes, I'd have the standard 50, 100, 150 in mirror, but on top of that, I'm keeping 200cc. It was a great inclusion that makes for a really fun and chaotic...
I think we all agree here. This is the coldest take ever. We all agree. We love 200cc. Maybe we should even do 250cc. Maybe even 500cc.
Like challenge, and I'd absolutely want it back.
Yep.
And that largely covers what I had in mind for mechanics. In a nutshell, I'd lean into it feeling more like a mix of Wii and 8 with a hint of Double Dash. Just enough for it to feel different without it feeling too jarring. Where things will really show their difference though is in the character and track lineups. Which on that note...
I'm not gonna lie, this is probably the one section of the video I'm wholly uninterested in. As I've gone on the record and said many times, as long as Luigi, Yoshi, or Waluigi's in the game, I don't care. But let's see what characters you've got.
So like I said earlier, I'm sticking with a max of 48 characters for the roster. Well, technically 49 actually, if we factor in the Miis. Like in Wii and 7, I'm gonna count them as their own thing, rather than have them in the main roster placings. Either way, for our first character, we've got none other than... What? Okay, yeah, let's start with the obvious ones. In row 1, we've got Mario...
Hang on. Benja, that is insane. Brother, I'm just saying, Benja? Mario? In Mario Kart? Brother. That is spicy. But let's continue. Whew, okay.
Luigi, Peach, Daisy, Rosalina, and because I feel she's prominent enough nowadays to stay as a regular, Pauline. Continuing on with the obvious ones.
I did just say that I don't care about character roster, but Pauline is one of the girlies, okay? She's one of the girlies.
Row 2 would have Yoshi, Toad, Koopa Troopa, Shy Guy, Birdo, and Toadette. And to follow that up, for row 3 we have Wario, Waluigi, Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong, I am not waiting another 15 years for his next Mario Kart appearance, Bowser, and Bowser Jr. However, to start off row 4, we've got Nabbit. Up until now, the only Mario Kart game he had been in was Tour.
Nabbit fans absolutely loving this video right now.
And with him looking to be a regular in the series from now on, such as him being playable in Mario Wonder, I felt he deserved to stick around in Mario Kart as well. And after him, we've got Wiggler. I know he's not super popular among Mario Kart players.
Can we get Wiggler Wednesday in chat, please?
If I'm wrong on that, but he was one of my mains in Mario Kart 7 thanks to the lack of Waluigi, so I've got a soft spot for his karting presence. Plus, him going into his anger state after getting hit is a great touch that I want to keep around. And speaking of personal bias, my next two picks are Dixie Kong and Funky Kong. Now, Funky, I know, has a following among Mario Kart players, being the go-to of many a Mario Kart Wii player, myself included. And between that and being a Donkey Kong Country fan, I had to keep him around. And while Dixie
he's a Donkey Kong Country fan too. Hey, yo, man, ninja. Hashtag Benja Squad, please. Can we get that back on the screen? Thank you.
Appeared in Mario Kart Tour, again, Donkey Kong Country fan, so she gets to tag along too. And to end off the row, we've got additional fan favorites, Dry Bones and Petey Piranha. So that's already half the roster covered.
Spongy's extremely happy now. He sees his boy Petey.
We've yet to have anyone really out of the ordinary. Everyone so far has been in a Mario Kart game prior, even if it was just Tour. But don't worry, we'll get to those deep cut choices shortly. Kicking off row 5, we've got Baby Mario and Baby Luigi, who I admittedly was conflicted on including, but you know what? They've featured prominently in Mario Kart since Double Dash, so I decided to keep them. That said, they are the only babies I kept. Baby Peach, Baby Daisy, and Baby Rosalina are not in this roster.
Fucking baby, the baby gamers. The babies are dead. The babies are dead. You know, Benja. Hashtag Benja Squad, let's go.
Though to go with the Baby Mario Bros, who first appeared in Yoshi's Island, I've got another notable Yoshi's Island character, Poochie. He's already playable in Mario Kart Tour, and you know what? He makes
LA King is absolutely loving life right now.
For good Yoshi's Island representation, so yeah, happy to have him around. And to round out the Yoshi's Island reps, we've got Kamek. As I've noted in a video before, Kamek's been considered for Mario Kart since the days of 64, and after him taking this long to finally show up, I'm not gonna give him the boot, especially with how prominent he's remained even outside of the Yoshi games. He was one of the best parts of the Mario movie, for crying out loud. Though speaking of Mario spin-offs that focus on other characters,
King Boo, King Boo, King Boo.
Let's now go into the Luigi's Mansion part of the roster, starting with Professor Egad.
Oh, actually, do you know what? Like I said, I did say I don't really care about characters. I would actually fuck with Egad. I would kind of fuck with Egad, I'm not gonna lie.
Apparently he was actually gonna be playable in Mario Kart DS before being replaced by Dry Bones, something I didn't know until doing research for this video. But yeah, he felt like a fitting choice to help represent Luigi's Mansion. And to go along with that, you probably already guessed it, ending this row is none other than King Boo. So that's 5 rows out of 8 covered. And so far, all but one of the characters I've picked have previously been playable in a Mario Kart game. That is now about to change.
Oh,
so I don't actually know if these next picks would even be possible.
Guys, are we ready? Are you ready? This is when Benja gets off the hook, brother. Benja, my ninja, let's go. I'm ready.
Well, due to the legalities surrounding these characters.
I want 7 Fire Emblem characters, come on.
But for this hypothetical what if, let's pretend that wouldn't be an issue. My next 2 picks are Mallow and Geno. I recently played through Mario RPG for the very first time via the Switch remake, and I absolutely loved it, so I definitely felt a desire to include these 2.
Yeah, see, but here's the thing though, Benja, I've never played the game before, so I don't care about these scrimbler bimbos. Game bad.
I do admittedly prefer Mallow between the 2, but they're both characters I like in their own right, so I'm including both of them. But those aren't the only Mario RPG reps I'm including. I've got one more, and it's none other than Booster. Why am I going with specifically Booster, you ask? Because he's funny and I like him, okay? Leave me alone. Though while we're talking about
3 games from one side game is like crazy though. That is crazy, brother. I'm not gonna lie to you.
RPGs, next up are some characters to represent Paper Mario. Now I will admit, my knowledge on Paper Mario isn't quite as strong, having only really played Super Paper Mario and a little bit of Thousand Year Door years ago, but I do know
He's only played Super Paper Mario just like me, my ninja. Benja, my ninja.
enough to make some inclusions for the roster from this sub-series. So for my first Paper Mario rep, I decided to go with Goombario from the original. I already kinda wanted to include a Goomba in this roster because the idea of a Goomba driving is funny to me, but instead of just going with the generic Goomba, why not? Let's include an actual Goomba character. And while yes,
Nah, it's gotta be Goombella. Sexist! Sexist! Where's the woman?
I could have gone with Goombella, I had someone else in mind to represent Thousand Year Door, Vivian. Even as someone who's played very little
I revoke the sexism allegations. Hashtag Benja Squad.
Thousand Year Door, I am very aware of how popular and prominent Vivian is, so I felt she'd be a good choice. And for my third Paper Mario rep, I'm going with one.
Hey, yo, this is the Paper Mario game I've played. I know these guys. That's O'Chunks. That's Dementio, I think. This is Nastasia, and that's Count Black. I remember the names. I remember all of them.
From Super.
Give me Nastasia, please. And it's not because I have a thing for her, please.
There were a fair few good choices to pick from. I did consider Count Bleck for a fair bit, but ultimately, I felt most inclined to go with Dementio. I don't know, I felt he'd fit a chaotic...
Fuck Dement. Man, that's like the worst of the four. I would have gone with O'Chunks. No, we don't fuck with Benja anymore. I'm removing the hashtag Benja Squad.
Kart racer well. And this now brings us to the last of the Mario
Okay, Superstar Saga mentioned. Hashtag Benja Squad is back.
RPG series, Mario and Luigi, which I have...
What's it? Is it going to be like Prince, the Prince? I forgot his name. The Prince guy. Or it's going to be Forful. Oh my god, if it's Forful. Holy shit. Or Cacklesser?
Even less experience with than Paper Mario. The only Mario and Luigi game I've really played myself is Bowser's
Peasley,
Inside
thank you,
Story.
Prince
But
Peasley.
that said, I did still want to give this series some representation. And after consulting a friend who has played all the Mario and Luigi
Peasley.
games, I figured out my choices.
Has to be
They're
Peasley.
incredibly basic choices, I will admit, but bear with me. So for Mario and Luigi, I went with the main antagonist for each of the original 3 games. Meaning we've got Cackletta from Superstar Saga, Princess Shroob from Partners in Time, and Fawful from Bowser's Inside Story, and Superstar Saga, but details, as the series reps. Again, I know, incredibly basic choices, but you know what? No harm in having a few extra villain characters, if you ask me.
I don't know, man. You missed the chance for Midbus. No Midbus or Popple. Or Popple, sorry. That's a miss. I'm not gonna. Hey, Benja, hey, listen. Don't hop on don't hop on Mario Luigi if you don't know what you're talking about, brother. Nah. I don't fuck with Benja anymore. Get rid of him.
Now we
He missed a chance for Midbus. He missed a chance for Popple. He missed a chance to even go rookie as a skin for Bowser. Benja. Stay in your lane, Benja.
Kart from the Mario RPGs to tackle another sub-series of Mario games, the Wario games.
Oh my god.
So for representing Wario, I wanted to shine some light
It's
on
gonna be
both
Princess Syrup? This woman?
Wario Land and WarioWare. So I got characters from both for the roster. For WarioWare, it was tough deciding which of the supporting cast to go with.
Oh, that's tough. Who would you pick in WarioWare? Oh, that's tough. That is tough. I think 9-volt is like the easy choice. If you're asking me, though, I'm going with Mike. I would go with Mike. I know he's not going to pick Mike. I'm going with Mike. It has to be Mike. It has to be Mike. Come on. Ashley's the... You guys are... Bruv. You guys are Ashley and... Get at it. Mona or Mike. It has to be. Or 9-volt. 9-volt is the basic choice. Or maybe 13 amp. If you guys know, you know.
But I ultimately went with Mona.
Yes!
I mean, come on.
My Scrimlow
She already drives a motorcycle. She's already
Green!
from Mario Karting.
Yes!
And for Wario Land, that was significantly easier. I went with Captain Syrup. Now, there is actually one other Wario Land character I included, but for reasons I won't elaborate on just yet, we'll get to that later. And to wrap up this row, I'm letting personal bias take the wheel again. I'm adding King K. Rool.
That's crazy.
Could have found a way to include him with the Kongs higher up on the roster rows, but I didn't want to break the thematic flow I had going with the placements, and there is a reason that placing him next to Captain Syrup works. But again, we'll get to that later. And now that takes us to the final row, which is, in my
This is one hell of a wild roster, brother, I'm telling you. I fuck with it. But like, there's no way Nintendo ever get anywhere near this fantastical with it. There's no way.
Opinion, the strangest row by far. For this roster so far, we've had representation for the main series, the character-specific spin-off franchises, and the RPGs. But for this final row, I want to show some love to other parts of the Mario series history, as well as a few extra oddball choices to cap things off. For example, I want to include a character to represent the Mario Party series, and as such, we're starting this row with
Ballyhoo.
A character many of you probably forgot even existed.
Ballyhoo? Oh, so you know, no. Excuse, pause the video. Pause the video right now. A character so you forgot existed, and he did. There is, brother. I said Ballyhoo first, brother. That is illegal. That is illegal behavior. Ballyhoo is the GOAT, okay? I don't even like Mario Party 8 that much. I think it's just good, and that's it. Ballyhoo's the fucking GOAT. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? No one for Ballyhoo, my man.
Yep, we're going with MC Ballyhoo from Mario Party 8.
I'm expecting a lot of comments for that. I'm expecting. Hang on, did he clarify? Oh, yellow. Do you know what? Fair enough. You acknowledged your fault. Everyone remembers Ballyhoo.
I know he was only in the one Mario Party title, but speaking personally, when I think characters to represent Mario Party, he's the first that immediately comes to mind. Plus, imagine hearing that iconic laugh as he hits you with the green shell. Come on, it'd be perfect. So next up, I wanted to include some kind of representation for the Mario sports games, which surprisingly, there's a lot to pick from. The earlier tennis and golf games have several human characters alongside the Mario characters.
Yeah, these bruv, as someone who's never played the earlier sports games, bruv, look at these guys, look at these OCs, look at these OCs, do not steal. Who the fuck are these people, bro? Is this like Jim from accounting? Who are these people, bro? These are the most people-looking people ever. Bruv. Who, is that fake Chun-Li down there? Is that fake O-Chunks? Who are these people?
And Mario Hoops 3-on-3 introduced Mario-fied versions of the Black Mage, White Mage, and Ninja from Final Fantasy. That said, if I'm being honest, I don't really want to go with either option. While it would be a pretty deep cut to go with one of the human characters, I don't know, I think it's kind of a boring direction to go.
Yeah, I would say so.
And while the Final Fantasy job classes got Mario-fied versions, they're ultimately still Final Fantasy job classes. So with that in mind, what do we have left to pick? Well, there is one option left. And it's an out there one.
Kriya? The super... Bruv. He went with the Super Team Robot from Mario Strike, the original Mario Striker. What is this? Dang, okay, he was right. This was a deep... Oh, Jesus Christ. Who the fuck remembers these guys?
Oh yeah, we're going there. For those not in the know, this is the Super Team, a squad of Bowser-made robots who serve as the final opponents and secret unlockable team in the first Mario Strikers game on GameCube. And outside of a cameo...
Bro, that is a mythical pool right there. Jesus Christ!
Charged, they have never made an appearance since. So, let's change that now.
Do you know what, Benja? I'm buying your Mario Kart, brother. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. He said no one remembers Ballyhoo, but he's like, he didn't say that for Super Team. Who the fuck remembers Super Team, brother?
With that said, I feel like we can get a better name than just Super. Well, from the looks of it, in other regions, they were called Omega. So we'll go with that. A platformer franchise with a robot character named Omega. That sounds vaguely familiar.
Sonic. Now it's time for Sonic. It looks so out of place. It does, doesn't it? Yeah, I am getting very passionate whilst I am. I love it.
Ah, right. Mega Man. Now, the next character is far less of a deep cut.
Get out of here.
I wanted to include some kind of representation for the recent Princess Peach Showtime, and you know what? The game's main villain, Madame Grape, looks pretty cool, so we'll go with her. But now, it's time for probably the deepest cut
Blood just loves villains. How many villains do you have here, bro? Sheesh.
Out of the roster.
You're a villain,
Remember how I
Andy.
mentioned earlier that I had another Wario Land character that I didn't want to go into just yet? Well, I'm gonna do so now, because the next character is Wario Land 3's main villain, Rudy the Clown. But I'm not including him as a rep for Wario Land. I'm including him as a rep for Dr. Mario. For those unfamiliar of what I'm talking about, Dr. Mario 64 had a full-fledged story mode, and in it, you would compete against enemy characters from Wario Land 3 as you set off to recover Dr. Mario's Mega Vitamins that were stolen from him. And the mastermind behind the theft, the game's villain and final boss? You guessed it, it's Rudy. Dr. Mario 64 was my first exposure to Rudy, or any of the Wario Land 3 characters for that matter. So my brain usually associates him with Dr. Mario, and as such, he'll be representing the Dr. Mario games in this
ugly. He's definitely only a face only a mother could love.
roster. Told you I'd be making some deep cuts with this roster, and we've still got 2 characters left to go. Which on that note, I will admit that these final 2 characters are from the mainline Mario series, but I just really wanted to include both these characters, and I didn't feel like they'd fit anywhere else on the roster, placement-wise. So firstly, we've got the speediest sprinter on all of Isle Delfino, Il Piantissimo from Mario Sunshine. I felt it'd be fitting to include one of those race
Sunshine mentioned
characters from the 3D Collectathon games, but we've already got a Koopa, and I didn't want to include a Mario reskin. And plus, Il Piantissimo is such a bizarre character that I couldn't resist going with him. And hey, he could be the designated time trial ghost character, like TT in Diddy Kong Racing or Entropy in the Crash Racing games. And that now brings us to the final character of the roster. Gotta end things on a strong note, so to end off this lineup of racers, we have...
Do you know what? I fuck with it. Guys, I fuck with it. I fuck with it. I fuck with it so hard. I fuck with it so hard. Let's go.
I wasn't bluffing when I said to add him to the next Mario Kart game. And that brings us to our total character roster. Like I said, some of my picks were going to get unconventional, and I know I left out a few prominent faces from the previous games. But I wanted a nice mix of familiar with more out there. Something that ideally feels like a celebration of the franchise as a whole.
I like this roster. I like this roster a lot, brother. I'm not gonna lie to you. The super team pick had me had me speechless. I'm not gonna lie. It had me fucking speechless. Benja Kart looking fight. It kind of does, doesn't it? It kind of goes hard. Just like Saul with another 5. Excuse me. Thank you so much. It's the most wild Nintendo character selection since Nintendo Realistic would never choose most of them. It's sad, isn't it? We're never going to get a roster this stacked. Bro, if Nintendo... Do you know, I'm going to be honest. Other than EGAD and Poochie, I think EGAD and Poochie are probably going to be in there. If they include any of the other characters from like this section, if they include any of the characters in this section, I think we consider that a win, right? I think we do. I think we do. If any of these characters got in, that'd be crazy. Especially... Okay, if you were to pick one, guys, if you were to pick one, who would it be? If you had to pick one, do you know what? I'm going with Super Team. I'm going with Super Team, not Ballyhoo. It's got to be Super Team or Ballyhoo. These 2 are insane choices. I'm going with Super Team, I'm not going to lie. Ballyhoo, Flowers, Super Team, K-Rool, Moana. Bally or Super Team. I'm going with, did I say Moana? I said Mona. Gotta be Talking Flower. I go for Forful. Ooh, it's tough, honestly.
Plus, a handful of those absent characters can get a chance to live on in another form. Which brings us to...
Oh my god!
So you know how in Mario Kart Wii, they introduced 2 variants of the Mii that had 2 separate costumes? And then expanded on that idea in Mario Kart 8 with a few different characters
He's
getting
gonna
alternate costumes or alternate color palettes? Well, I want to expand on that even further. In this game, every character would get some kind of alt. Now, it would vary per character. Some would just get alternate color schemes, while some would get full-on different outfits, but I felt this be a fun little extra to have for the roster. And it'd give us the chance to reintroduce characters that previously got cut. I won't go over every single character and what I do for their alts, but I'll go over a handful. For Mario, I'd go with some kind of power-up based look. If we're using already existing Mario Kart characters here, something like Tanuki Mario or Metal Mario. For Luigi, however, I'd give him his Mr. L outfit from Super Paper Mario. Then for Peach, I'd give her one of her Showtime outfits, probably the Sword Fighter one. And for Daisy...
No, it can't be the... Nah, you know what, Benji? Fuck Benji again. It has to be... What's the one where... what the fuck? How do you even... I don't even know how you spell it. I don't even know how you spell it. But it's this one. If Peach is gonna get a Peach Showtime costume... Brother, it has to be. It has to be Baker Peach. It has to be 100%. 100%. There's no way. I just want to see this outfit in a Mario Kart game. I think it'd be kind of cool.
her striker's uniform. Easy. Characters
Oh,
like
that's a good one.
Yoshi, Shy Guy, and Birdo would get their color palette sets like they had in Mario Kart 8. Toad and Toadette would get their treasure tracker outfits. Bowser would get Dry Bowser. Wario would get his WarioWare biker outfit. Waluigi I considered giving his Tennis Aces outfit, but then I remembered his really slick outfit from Mario Golf Super Rush, so he'd get that instead. I could go on, and I will just a little bit more. Diddy and Dixie's alts, their Player 2 color palettes from DKC2. Funky's alt, his war outfit from Donkey Kong 64.
That's a good
Gucci's
one.
alt, his Woolly World design.
That's a good
Gad's
one.
alt, that ghost gown he briefly wears in Superstar Saga.
True.
King Boo's alt, his Luigi's Mansion design.
True.
K. Rool's alt, Captain K. Rool. And this is why I had him next to Captain Syrup. But probably my favorites for the alts are the ones that incorporate alternate characters. I already mentioned the Mario examples and Dry Bowser, but the other three I thought up were for Koopa Troopa, Donkey Kong, and Kamek. For Koopa Troopa, his alt would turn
Paratroopa?
him into Paratroopa, finally bringing him back from Double Dash.
My goat.
For DK, his alt would turn him
Funky.
into Donkey Kong Jr.
Oh, no,
and
Junior.
Kamek's alt would turn him into Kami Koopa from the Paper Mario games. Now yes, this is
I
all
would have gone with Camilla from Galaxy, but sure.
pretty minute in the grand scheme of things, but stuff like alternate costumes is a nice little extra to having games like this. But with that said, that's all I've got for characters. So let's now head into the other key aspect of Mario Kart.
Funky Kong turned into Viet Cong. Get out of here, Caleb. Get
And here
out
we
of
are
here.
at the part I was looking forward to the most with making this video. Mario Kart has had a vast array of tracks over
Okay, here we go. Here's the guys. Here's the part. Here's the part. Is he gonna cook? Remember, guys. Every Mario Kart game has a couple of stinkers. So if we see one stinker, we're not gonna get angry. Okay, we're not gonna get angry. Every game has a couple of stinkers. But overall, though, let's see what he does. I'm ready.
years. And thinking up ideas for new ones and which ones I was going to bring back, I felt was going to be a fun process. And sure enough, it was. Now, full disclosure, this is going to be more a discussion on the track's theming and locations rather than the track designs themselves, but I will discuss some track design related ideas when applicable. So starting off with our new Mushroom Cup, we'd begin with the series tradition of a circuit track. In this game's case, Peach Circuit. I was tempted to go back to tradition and make it a Luigi circuit, but I decided to save Luigi's presence for a later track. But yeah, this be about what you'd expect for a circuit track with the added theming of Peach's castle.
Say the line, guys. You never start off with your...
Then for our second track, we've got Rogueport Harbor. Yep, I wasn't keeping the RPG references to just the characters. We've got Thousand Year Door representation in track form too. Still being in the Mushroom Cup at all, I imagine it be on the simpler side, sticking to the harbor and the plaza of Rogueport. Now the third track's a fun one, Fuzzy Forest, based on the levels Touch
Fuzzy
Fuzzy Get Dizzy
Forest?
from Yoshi's Island. You'd have a foresty track, probably with a fair few hills and slopes, but you'd also have the titular fuzzies flying about, and either from player-imposed contact or maybe a track set piece that forces it, you'd get to briefly experience the trippy effect of the fuzzies. And to round out Mushroom Cup, we've got a bit of a deep cut. Luigi's Casino, based off those Luigi Casino minigames from Super Mario 64 DS and New Super Mario Bros. DS. When I was coming up with track ideas, I'd realized that we hadn't had a casino track in the franchise yet. A casino battle arena in Mario Kart Wii, yes, but not a track. Which hey, Luigi had a casino in those DS games, so let's go with one themed off that. This now brings us to the Flower Cup, which would start off with none other than Mario Circuit. Now,
Benji, you had the chance to end this shit tradition, brother. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Even in Benja's Mario Kart, we still have like kind of shit in Detroit, bro.
not much to say here, it'd be another circuit track. Next up is our resident desert track. Though for this outing, I want to lean more into a Wild West kind of theming, similar to that of Westernland from Mario Party 2. So with that, we have Coin Rush Canyon. Then for our third track, we have a brand new Waluigi Stadium, based off the underground stadium from Mario Strikers,
Another Waluigi. Okay.
which, according to the Nintendo website, was funded by Wario Waluigi, so there you go. And if you're wondering why I made it specifically Waluigi's track and not Wario's, 1. Waluigi bias, and 2. Wario will get some love later. And to end off the Flower Cup, we've got Cavi Cape, based off the location of the same name from Bowser's Inside Story. Not much to say on the matter, I feel it'd make for a nice track visually between the inner and outer areas of Cavi Cape. Onto the Star Cup, and I've got a fun way to start it off. For our Resident City track, we've got Big Band Boulevard, based off the New Donk City Festival.
See, this is even something I kind of want, to be honest. I would love a New Donk City themed track.
Mario Odyssey. I'll
I
fully
fuck with
admit
it.
that I was just
I
really
fuck with
happy
it.
with coming up with that alliterative title, and I really wanted an excuse to use it, so hey, new Donk Festival track. Then for the second track, we've got Noki Lagoon, based off the beautiful Noki Bay from Mario Sunshine. With both the watery parts and the ruins of Noki Bay, I feel like you could have a pretty fun track here. And I just remembered that Thwomp Ruins exists and has a small part of water itself. Oops. Moving on from there, the third track I've got is Smithy's Factory, based off the final dungeon of Mario RPG. Which on that note, anyone ever play Pac-Man World Rally?
No.
To those who did, if you remember the Talkman's Factory track,
I don't
that's
know.
along the lines of what I was imagining for Smithy's Factory.
Okay.
Lots of
I'll take your word
machinery-based
for it.
obstacles throughout. And to end off the Star Cup, we've got Frostburn Mountain, based off the fire and ice hybrid worlds of Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, such as Freeze Flame Galaxy and Shiverburn Galaxy. Thus you'd have a mountain track
Kinda
that
fuck with it.
thematically be both your snow track and your lava track. Perhaps a snowy outside with a volcanic inside, or the track transforming from icy to fiery across each lap. I don't know, I think there's some fun ideas that could be done there. And finally, we enter the Special Cup, which would begin with a Donkey Kong Country track. And while I could have done something like DK Jungle or the like,
You better fucking not, you loser. You better not.
decided to let my bias
Give me
steer the way
something.
again.
Come
As
on.
such, Special Cup starts with Bramble Boardwalk, a track based off the Bramble levels from DKC2, which also means we'd get a new remix of Stickerbush Symphony, which would be amazing. And keeping with the spin-offs, the
I would have gone with a factory theme. I think I would have gone with a factory theme if you ask me. Fear Factory, but okay.
second track of Special Cup would be Haunted Hotel, based off the Last Resort Hotel from Luigi's Mansion 3. Now, we haven't really talked about lap structure with these tracks so far, but this one I definitely picture being a
Life checkpoint, guys. Tell me how you're feeling. Tell me how you're feeling.
section race rather than 3-lap. Starting the race at the front doors, making your way up and up the tower of a hotel, driving through numerous rooms from Luigi's Mansion 3, before finally ending the race at the rooftop. This would then be followed up by the third track, the series standard Bowser's Castle track. However, in this case, it'd be specifically based off the Bowser's Castle from Mario Wonder, because Bowser's Castle from Wonder was utterly fantastic, and a track based off that would be absolutely nuts in the best way possible.
I'm here
Heck,
for it.
if you want to be more on the nose, call it Bowser's Rage Race. Don't actually do that. And last but certainly not least, Rainbow Road. Speaks for itself, really. And if you want an idea for where to take it, maybe base it off the one from the Mario movie with its multiple branching paths. Basically a
That'd be
Yoshi
kind of
Valley-esque
cool.
Rainbow Road. That could be fun. So that wraps up the new tracks, but what about the retro track?
Do you know what? Yeah, I'd take it. It seems like we could. It seems like there could probably be some bangers in here. I'd take it. I'm more interested. What's the retros got for us? This looks kind of cool. A bit too many references to Mario, but he did say that that's what he was gonna go for. So, you know, fair enough, I suppose. If you're asking me, I'd probably only include about like 5 of these in mine. I'd go with original concepts, but hey, coming up with original stuff is hard. It's very, very hard.
Tracks.
I'd
Well,
take it.
before we go into what I picked, I'm gonna fill
Pardon
you
me?
in on my mindset with these. So going off rumors and how Nintendo's handled this with previous consoles, the Switch 2, or whatever it ends up being called, will likely have backwards compatibility, meaning that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe will still be playable on the new system.
Do you really think it? You know, I'm gonna go bold and say it's not. It's not gonna have backwards compatibility. You're gonna be forced to buy the new system.
With that in mind, I
You
decided
own
to
nothing
challenge
and be
myself.
happy.
So as to give as fresh of an experience as possible, and because we removed the anti-gravity, I did not include any tracks that are present in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. None of its new tracks, none of its retro tracks, and that includes the ones added in the Booster Course Pass. Now you may be thinking
Okay, let me finish.
that doesn't give me much to choose from for a retro track lineup here, but you'd be surprised how much I still had to work with, and how a strong retro lineup was still perfectly plausible even with that limitation. So with that said,
That is, brother, that's crazy. I'm gonna be honest with you. That is insane. You are legitimately insane, brother. Mario Kart 8 has some of the best tracks the series has ever seen, and you're gonna choose none of them. Super Bell, Mount Wario, Electrodrome, Cloud Top Cruise, the base game's Bowser Castle. I'd even give Bone Dry Dunes a retro shout. Not a big retro shout, but I'd give it a shout. Sweet Sweet Canyon or Thwomp Ruins. Brother. That is... brother is on thin ice. Let's see if you can do something.
Instead, to start off the Shell Cup, we've got Mario Circuit 4 from Super...
You tell us there's none from 8, and you give us SNES. That's just bad timing. That's just bad timing, honestly. And to be honest, as the first, not only do I think the track is a bit of a weird choice, first and Shell is insane. That placement wise, that is insane. Do you know what I'm gonna do? Actually, do you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna off screen. I'm gonna get my own tier list thing, so I can see where his placements are, so I can like refer to them if that makes sense. So let me do Mario Kart all tracks tier list, because like placement wise, this is insane. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like this is insanity. So if we hang on, let me just. Oh, this is when I was doing my tour thingamajig. Let me just reset. Let's reset all of this. So what does he have first? He has MC4. Here it is. So we'll do Shell. And then what comes after Shell? It's Banan. And then it's Leafed. And then it's a Lightning. Because I just want to keep track of his placements. Lighting? I do have good lighting. Lightning, though, is what we're after. Let's get rid of this as well. Okay, there we are. I just want to keep track, just to see what he's cooking. Just to see what he's cooking, if it works under scrutiny. But, like, if you're asking me the very first track, like, what were the first tracks in like other games? You had what? Moo Moo Meadows. In in 7 you had Luigi Raceway. Going with a track this complicated as your first track is insane, brother. That is insane. Luigi Raceway, like, brother. MC, yeah. I think this could probably work either middle of here or like beginning of here. That's where I'd put it. That's insane, brother. That is insane.
From Mario Kart, which may seem a bit eye-roll worthy, but here's the thing. This is the only Mario circuit from the original.
And then he goes with the classic. It's the only one though, guys. It's the only guys. Guys, it's the only one. It deserves to come back, guys. Guys, please bring it back.
That has never gotten the retro remake treatment, not even in Tour. So why not? Let's give it the love it deserves.
Who cares? Sorry. Who cares, brother?
Following that up, we've got Delfino Square from Mario Kart DS.
Okay, hang on. I need to do some research. Delfino Square. Who needs a retro ranking stream when I'm doing it live? Okay, where was it? Disagree. Second race course in the Flower Cup. I guess it could work as a Shell Cup track. I guess. What was it? Mario Kart was the third course in Banana Cup. Shell was a bit earlier than I'd put it, but I'm not going to fight you too hard, to be honest. Where is it? DS. There we go. So this is all we're working with so far. Strange, brother. Strange.
Because that's one of my favorite tracks in the whole series, and I'd like to see it get the retro treatment again. Then after that, I'd go with Frappe Snowland from Mario Kart 64, because we don't have a truly traditional snow track yet. And when it comes to those, I quite like Frappe Snowland. It's nice. And
when did Biff Weed make this video, guys? When did Biff Weed get in here? Jesus Christ. Biff Weed. The Biff Weed effect is crazy. It's crazy. What was Frappe anyway? Second race course in Flower? It could kind of work in Shell, I suppose. I just don't want to see this track again, to be honest. Placement-wise, Frappe I think is fine. I just think it's shit, brother. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Finish off the Shell Cup, Toad's Factory from Wii.
Oh my god. Toad Factory, huh? Toad Factory.
It's Toad's Factory. What else do you want me to say? It's like the one Wii track people were shocked didn't end up in the Booster Course pass. But hey, thanks to that, it could now show up in my funny little Mario Kart game. Moving on to Banana Cup, I'd start off with Shy Guy Bazaar from Mario Kart 7. So
Shy Guy Bazaar makes it to Banana, but SNES MC4 doesn't, yeah? Yeah, is that how that works? Yeah, brother?
Pretty unique track thematically, so I think it'd be neat to see again. Plus, it gives Shy Guy a track in all this. Then for the second track, Luigi Circuit from Super Circuit. I've always liked the stormy feel of this one, and giving it a new coat of paint could elevate its memorability even more.
I think that placement is fine. All right, hang on a minute. Where's it was Toad Factory, wasn't it? I'm still back on that.
For the third track, I'm playing favorites again and going with Mushroom City from Double Dash. As I've previously talked about, I've always been a fan of both the chaos of this track and its non-linear structure with the crossing roads and all. It's one I've always been fond of. Plus, it's never gotten the retro treatment, so hey, a return it shall make. And to end off the Banana Cup, we've got Piranha Plant Pipeline from Tour, which... okay, I will admit, I haven't actually played this track because I've only played so much of Tour.
Tour Andes, does it belong here? Do you think here is fine, Tour Andes? Alright, so wait, hang on.
Which...
give me a sec, guys. I'm an old man and I'm rather slow. Fuck. I thought I could do this in real time, but it's proven to be a little difficult. So we've got Shy Guy Bazaar. We've got Luigi Circuit. Where's Luigi Circuit? There's Luigi Circuit. Then we've got GCN Mushroom City. There you are. And then we've got Tour. I've got to scroll all the way to the bottom for this one. Oh, brother. Drag it all the way to the top. Okay, here we are. So that's what that's looking like. I think structure-wise, if I see this cup, I'm like, do you know what? I don't mind this cup. I think this cup is better than... I was going to say, this one's a bit too yo-yo-y. It's like, we're so over, we're back, we're so over, we're back. Yo-yo effect. This one, I like this cup way better. I would give this cup like an 8 out of 10. I'd give this cup an 8 out of 10. This one, a bit too much yo-yo. You Mario Circle 4, like this placement here is insane. It really drags it down. Frappe, I just fucking hate Frappe. I'm giving it a 5 out of 10, to be honest. A bit too much we're so over, we're so back for me, if you ask me. Let's continue. I'll continue grading you.
Okay, I will admit, I haven't actually played this track because I've only played so much of Tour, but this is the only Tour original track that
promising list, actually. Why is so for that early? Yeah, it's odd. That's an odd one. That's an odd one for sure.
Wasn't brought back to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe,
agree.
So I feel it deserves a chance to shine on a console. This now takes us to the Leaf Cup. And to start it off, I gotta go with another Double Dash classic that's never gotten the retro treatment, Wario Coliseum. Okay. This one's already a really fun one in Double Dash, so I would love to see it come back. Which on that note, I'm just gonna quickly clarify, this would remain 2 laps. I would not turn this into a 3-section race just because it's long. Following that,
I think a 3-section one could work, though, Benja. Come on, it could work. It could work, Benja. Come on. Fair enough, though.
Go with something a bit calmer. Koopa Beach 1 from Super Mario Kart.
Brother. Look at my placements, brother. You've got on a special cup track. Hang on. Let's do some research. Koopa Beach 1. Where was it? It was early game, right? First course in the Star Cup. Third track of Extra Lightning as well. Fuck my, it doesn't. Brother, you can't have it right after Wario Coliseum, brother. Oh my, just do that. Oh my god, just do that. And this is actually really good. Like placement wise, brother, what have you done? This is insane. This is insane.
Which, oddly enough, has also never received the retro treatment. Not much to say.
I just think that's okay, does anyone hate that argument as much as I do? I don't care if something's never been remade. You have to prove to me that you belong, okay? I would happily have Waluigi Stadium back. I would happily, you know? You have to prove to me.
It's Koopa Beach, you'd get a new remix of its pretty nice music, so A. Then after that, we'd return to the world of Super Circuit with Lakeside Park, which got a pretty neat reimagining in Tour.
That's
Do
cool.
something similar to that, but with a larger emphasis on the volcanic eruption, and you'll have yourself something pretty cool.
I agree.
And to finish off the Leaf Cup, Airship Fortress from DS. It's Airship Fortress. What else do you want me to say? It's like the one DS track people were shocked didn't end up in the Booster Course Pass. But hey, thanks to that, it could now show up in my funny little Mario Kart game. Anyone else feel...
Hang on one sec, let me just get the last one. Airship Fortress it was, right? I just think if you're insistent on having Koopa Beach here, I would put it first. I would do that. If you're gonna put Koopa Beach here, I understand I think theming wise, going into like an insane Coliseum to like a calm beach track, I think that works. I think it works. I would say like, I think you have to start off with the calm and then get into the crazy, do you know? I think that's what you'd have to do. If you ask me personally, I think doing it like this is just wild. The other 3 tracks I think are perfectly placed, I would say. I still don't think Wario Coliseum is that good, to be honest, but if you revamped it, you added some stuff, Koopa Beach 1 is just a wild shout. If it was like this, I'd give this like a 9.5. Like cut play out, bunch of tracks that haven't returned, this would be really good, but I'd have to give you, what do you think, chat? What grade? So I'm seeing a lot of 7s and I'm inclined to agree. I think Airship Fortress and Lakeside Park. If you're asking me, Lakeside Park and Asia Fortress, and I am a sucker for beaches, I'm going to go with a bit more. I'm going to be a bit more generous. I'm going to say 8. This one's an 8. If you swap this around, I think this would probably be the perfect cup. I'd give it a 9.5 though, because I just don't like Warriors Coliseum that much. But good. I'd say. That's the wrong thing. It's this.
Still deja vu there. And finally, we enter the Lightning Cup, which will start off with...
Hang on one sec. I'm taking this over to my other monitor. You can't see it.
DK's Jungle Parkway from Mario Kart 64.
Oh, no. Benja. Oh, what have you done? What have you done? It's already been remade, brother. What have you done? Benja, no. Dino Jungle was right there. Benja, no. I would say this is like the first hard miss. I don't like Frappe Snollen, but I think it deserves a slot. Does that make sense? I think it deserves a slot. I hate it though. This is shit. But there's always going to be a couple of stinkers, so I'm okay with that. Parkway is wild, brother. I'm not going to lie to you. You're going to have to do a lot of explaining. You have to do a lot. What, the Parkway? This is bad, brother. This is bad. Dino was in 7? That's true, you're right. This is bad, though. This is so bad.
I did still want some kind of Donkey Kong jungle track in all this, and with other options like DK Mountain and DK Jungle being unavailable, this felt like my best choice. After that...
You could just... Oh, man. Even go with DK Pass if you really want a DK track, but you also have Frappe Snowline, so you probably doesn't want to do 2 irons. This is just a bad choice. All around, this is just a bad choice, brother. I'm not going to lie. You could have gone with... I personally would have gone with Dino.
We make our way to Wario Shipyard from Mario Kart 7,
banging choice.
two Wario tracks in the retro lineup. This is why I made that stadium track earlier, just a Waluigi one. But yeah, this is a unique and cool track, so it'd be nice to have back again.
Good, deserves its spot, good track, and good placement. 10 out of 10, buddy.
Yeah. Then we reach our Bowser's Castle track, and I had to go with the rendition from Mario Kart Wii. This version might be my personal favorite, so I really wanted to bring it back.
Which other Bowser's Castles could come back? The GameCube one could come back? The 7 one could come back? 8's one technically could come back, I suppose. Which one's he got? He's gone for Wii. Where's the Wii one? Where's it? I think there's a bunch, isn't it? There's a bunch they could use, right? GCN, DS, and 7. GBA BC4 as well. You know, I'm okay with this. This is fine.
And this now brings us to the conclusion of the retro tracks
GCN?
with a returning Rainbow Road.
No.
Now, by technicality, the Rainbow Road from Super Circuit should be next. However, this whole thing is what would happen if I was in creative control, so I'm gonna let my bias take control one last time. We're ending with the Rainbow Road from Double Dash.
You fucking bitch. You hate me. You hate my childhood, just like Shafrillas. You hate my childhood, man. All of you guys hate my childhood, man. Fuck you guys. You guys hate me. Fuck all of you,
there we go.
Man.
That's 32 tracks completely figured out.
Okay, let's review, chat. Let's review. Oh, he's already got it for us. Oh, that's his retro. So these are his retros. I think as a retro, let's rate his Lightning Cup. That Parkway pick is actually like unreal, brother. I'm not gonna lie to you. The rest, insane. This had a chance to be the best cup. If you put Dino Jungle here, this is like a 9.9 out of 10 cup. A 9.9 out of 10 cup. Parkway just really fucks with you, brother. I'm telling you, man. I don't know what you were thinking about Parkway. It was, not only has it already been remade, it just doesn't, like, who cares? Like, no one cares about Parkway. Why do you hate Parkway suddenly? I don't hate it. If you have a chance to make a Lightning Cup retro track of all the choices, just look and think about it. Just have a think about it. Just have a think about all the. You could have gone with. What could we have gone with realistically? Hang on. Let's do a spitball, because I don't hate Parkway. I'm just, there's so many other better choices. Hang on. Firstly, you could have done this. Let's do it. Let's make another tier. Let's go with let's just for Minister Chicken. I'm gonna cut his name out so he's not in the video. You could have gone with Broken Pier, hasn't been done, could easily get a good remake. That could have been there, right? What else? Yoshi Desert in Tour easily deserves a slot. I could see it being beginning Lightning. Maybe a bit too much of a shout. I could definitely see it though. What else could come back? What else have we got here? TikTok clock's already been done. There's not really much from DS, is there? Wario Stadium. Well, OG Wario Stadium. If with a big remake, that could come back too. I said Dino before. If you really wanted a jungle, Dino is a good shout. What else have we got? A lot of the 3DS ones are taken, unfortunately. They're already in 8. Is there any good 7 ones that we could take? Is there any good? Oh, what, is there any good 7 ones we could take? Am I an idiot? Am I broken? Is my brain broken? Oh my, your Minister Chicken is really gonna sit there and defend Jungle Parkway when we got these two, brother. You're on crack. Brother, you're on crack. Bearing in mind, he's not doing any 8 deluxe tracks, which I still think is insane. But if we're not going by, just by having a quick cursory glance, Jesus Christ. Well, obviously, you've got balance. Actually, you could technically, I guess by technicality, you can do that. You have all of these. All of these, if you're asking me, would be much better choices. Much better choices. Get rid of Parkway, Marco Woohoo. This is a 10 out of 10 cup. Get rid of this. Woohoo Loop, bit of a weird shout if you ask me. I think you'd have to put that maybe here as a cup ender, maybe do that in maybe. I think it could still work. A straight slot in, Dana Jungle perfectly again. Ghost, I'm seeing Ghost Valley 3 with a remake. I think that could work too. I think that's not a bad choice. I wouldn't go for it personally. And then Wario Stadium. Then again, you have 2 Warios. Maybe you don't want to do that. Okay, if you're asking me, a straight swap would be Dana Jungle and Marco Woohoo. You could put either of these 2 tracks here, and it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. Okay, that's what I'm saying. So DK Jungle Parkway is just not. It's just not it, brother. It's just not it. I'm gonna be honest. We can't just have one N64. Wario Stadium could work, but then other than Parkway is a good choice. IMHO. Yeah, but who cares? That's my question to you. Who cares? And N64 has already had 15 out of 16 representatives. If other games decide to take up some slots, I'm okay with that. If you asked me, Moresty, hey, if Super Circuit had 19 out of 20 tracks remade, and you said to me, Moresty, you're only really going to get 1 retro, that's fine by me. I've eaten my dinner. You 64 Andes have eaten your dinner. If you're only going to get 1 retro, I don't think you can complain. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think you guys can complain. You guys have been eating too good. The rest of us are skinny. We're malnourished. We're hungry. Let us eat. This would be perfect. But in Benja's reality, oh man, I'm not going to lie. I think this is, having said all of that though, I think this is probably still an 8 out of 10 cup. But this is like this is just a bad 8 out of 10, honestly. Knowing that this could have been a 10, change it to this, and this is a 10 out of 10 cup. This is a 10 out of 10 cup, brother. It's unreal. You were so close to greatness. You were so close. You were so close, brother. Anyway, I'll stick with an 8 though. I'll still give you an 8.
Like I said earlier, this was actually the part I was looking forward to the most.
8 out of 10.
It was a lot of fun figuring out both the retro track lineup and ideas for the new tracks. But we're not done just yet, because there's something else I want to go over.
Okay. I'm gonna be honest, all I want is a double dash mode. Give me a double dash mode and I'm completely on your side.
So on paper, this should be a pretty straightforward segment. We've got our Grand Prix, versus races, time trials, battle mode, and online
Good night, trends, Brill. Good night. Good night. You better have a good night.
The usual. But there's a couple things I want to go over in those regards. Firstly, battle mode. While the point system structure
elimination-based battle mode. Say it with me, Benja. Elimination-based battle mode
has been neat. I think I'd like to go back to a traditional last man standing based
yes,
battle
thank
mode.
you, thank
but
you.
On top of that,
W's in the chat, guys. W's.
Bob on Blast, which that one can be point based. And why not, for a team based battle mode, bring back Renegade Roundup 2. That one's fun. As for the time trials, like I mentioned earlier, I like to imagine Il Piantissimo being a ghost racer to compete against in the same vein as TT and Entropy, and that by beating all his times, you unlock him as a player character. Which actually,
Snoresville, but that's actually a quite clever concept to unlock characters. You know what, actually, I like that. I'm sorry for sleeping. That's actually pretty good.
On that note, unlockables, I'd go back to the old school system of having specific cups or challenges give you specific things, rather than the random order system that Vanilla 8 did.
I would agree with you, but I'm just telling you, I really like the fact that if you play 150cc Mushroom Cup, the game also declares you having done 150. Or 100 space and 50. I like the fact that I do not have to do 50cc, then 100cc, then 150cc. So while I agree with you, Benja, I would also want to keep a system of, if I do 150cc Mushroom Cup, because if I am going to play a new Mario Kart game, I'm straight away going on 150cc because I'm not a baby. Even I am not that much of a baby. If I want to play that and then unlock whatever was at 50cc and whatever was at 100cc, and then I could also unlock the 150cc thing. That's what I'm saying to you, Benja. All right.
In fact, you could tie the alt costumes to the
Yeah, I like the modern balloon battle, but have a toggle. Yeah, I think a toggle would be perfect. I think I said this before. I think having a timer-based system or points-based system for random online battles is perfect. In private matches, you should be able to switch. You should be able to switch between the two, 100%.
Style of unlocking too. But it wouldn't just be from Grand Prix or Time Trial. Which brings us to the other mode I want to talk about, Mission Mode. That's right.
DS Andes. You can enjoy your mission mode. Play up to 6 good missions and a bunch of others that are going to be mid.
I would bring back Mission Mode from Mario Kart.
Well done, gamers, well done.
This was honestly a great inclusion to that game. And while we did get a taste of it again in Wii with the Mario Kart channel events, which on that note, there is actually a mod that allows you to play all these events again. It's called Tournament Museum. Check it out. It's something I would bring back again. And I'd tie some of the unlockables to beating certain missions. You can even make some of the playable villain characters into bosses to beat in order to unlock them. It's a rough idea at least, but I think it'd be a really fun inclusion to give the single player a little extra meat on its bone.
That actually does sound kind of lit, I'm not gonna lie. I think I've said this many a time. The only fun part about DS's mission mode, having replayed it about 2 years ago, was the bosses. The boss races were the only fun thing. So if you're gonna like make more boss races, I'm okay with that.
So yeah, that's about everything I've got for this. I could have gone further into stuff like post-launch content, but I didn't want to bloat this video too much. So actually, you know what? Let's make this extra fun. If you were put in charge of the post-launch for this hypothetical Mario Kart, what kind of characters or tracks or costumes would you add? Or would you do something entirely different? Feel free to let me know in the comments. I'm curious.
I would just do like I would do like 3 DLCs at least. Maybe a BCP2 later down the line. I think if there's one thing I actually want to see in the next Mario Kart game, is I'm borrowing this completely from F-Zero 99. One thing I absolutely love about F-Zero 99 is that once every couple of hours, they increase the rate on the weekends because people are going to be playing on the weekends. They have like a tournament mode. And I know F-Zero's gameplay is like, oh, it's elimination-based tournament mode, so you couldn't necessarily do that. But like, if you could have like a weekly like tournament or like just a mode where like, because you know Rocket League does the same thing where like there's like set times for like tournament games, you know, and like it's one of those things where you can like look forward to at a certain time, maybe at a certain date. Maybe you could do it like weekly, maybe you could do it daily at certain times. Something like a splat. I would want there to be like a tournament thing, whether it's like a daily tournament, a weekly tournament, a monthly tournament, something like a Splatfest, something like Rocket League's tournament mode, something like F-Zero 99's, something like that would be amazing. And then oh, hang on, this is what I was thinking about, chat. This is mine. The tournaments have like a set race thing, like a set number of races, and whoever gets the most points gets the most rewards, obviously. This is where I'd put the RMX tracks. Am I a genius, guys? Am I a genius? This is where I'd put the RMX, or introduce even new RMX tracks, or reverse tracks, or trick tracks. I would put them in the tournament mode. Maybe I'd like have them be unlockables later down the line, the regular modes. I would introduce the new RMX stuff in the tournament mode, and maybe they'd be unlockable later. That's how I would design it. Chibi says no. Okay, well, destroyed then. What's the point? I'm cancelled. Cancel me, chat.
Curious to see what kind of creative ideas you all have. But yeah, I apologize if this video was kind of...
RMX. Well, I just mean like RMX tracks in general, because like, I think one incentive to play my hypothetical tournament mode would be you get to play a new variant of a track that you've maybe seen a bunch of times. Do you see what I mean? That would be kind of fun. Like that's why you'd want to play the tournament mode, you know?
Kind of all over
like an extra incentive.
Like I said at the start, I haven't tried something like this in video form before. But again, this kind of figuring out hypothetical games thing.
It's a great idea. I'm just a hater. I appreciate it, man. Everyone needs a hater. Everyone needs it. I like the idea. It might not be a popular idea, though. That's the thing. I think the tournament mode in F-Zero 99 is really popular. I love the tournament mode in F-Zero 99. I think just having extra, like they have a tournament mode in Mario Kart 8. When was the last time you used it? That's actually a good question. When was the last time you guys actually used the tournament feature in Mario Kart 8? Because I don't think I've ever used it. Like, unless I'm making a custom tournament for a stream, I don't think I've personally ever used the tournament feature. So, like, if there was a reason, you never. See, like, if you're going to make a reason to use the tournament function, it'd be pretty good, right? Like for example, let's say week 1, 200cc tournament, and I tease one of the tracks. It's going to be reverse, Rainbow Road, base game Rainbow Road. You're like, oh shit, hang on, I get to play reverse Rainbow Road if I make it to track number 4 in the tournament coming up. Hey, let me play that. And then if you however much you place, you get coins, and you can use coins to unlock the battle pass. Well, guys, we're bringing back the battle pass. Let's go.
is something I enjoy doing every now and then, and I felt it'd be fun to do so in a video for you all to enjoy.
Well, I did enjoy it.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this.
I did enjoy it, Benja. I did enjoy it. I think your character roster's insane, and I would absolutely love your character rosters. Some of the things, I think you went a bit too villain-esque in your character picks, but I love them. Overall design philosophy, I think that's where you kind of lost me. I think the coin is a very important system, but overall, fair enough, I suppose. I think your retro picks, brother, as a retro pick reviewer, you were nearly there. Like let's get the list one more time. You were nearly there, brother. Solid enough, or eight all around. I think that's overall pretty solid, if I do say so myself. Shell Cup is got a bit of a yo-yo effect, but the tracks themselves individually aren't the worst thing I've ever seen. So you cooked with the retros overall, I would say. You cooked me up a nice spag bowl for dinner. Not a filet mignon, but you cooked me up a spag bowl. I'll give you that. So overall, BenjaMage, if you were directing my Mario Kart, I'd be okay with that. I would be a-okay with that, Benja. But are you okay with it? That's the question. Are you okay with Benja's Mario Kart? Let me know, gamers. Let me know in the comments below. Yes, we love BenjaMage, don't we? Hashtag BenjaSquad. BenjaSquad, Benja Gaming.